Hi, my name is Beer, and let's start with Deep Rock Galactic. This is a 1 to 4 players first-person shooter featuring badass space dwarfs and 100% destructible environments. Here you can play alone or work together with other players as a team to dig, explore and fight your way through a massive cave system filled with hordes of deadly enemies and valuable resources. Pick some powerful guns like flamethrowers, Gatling guns, portable platform launchers, and show those puny aliens who's the boss. Dwarfs may be small, but they are really powerful. We in Lithuania have a saying,
Neugis or smugis.
Meaning not the size, but the punch is what really matters. And your punch is really, probably weak in real world, but really impactful for the alien population in these dangerous caves. People on Steam are talking that there is no reason not to play this game, and I have to agree. Show those monsters the true meaning of extinction.
Rock and stone, baby.
God of War. Here you play as Kratos, a man who now lives in the realm of Norse gods and monsters. It is in this harsh, unforgiving world you must fight to survive, and teach your son to do the same. So to say short, he will slay the whole pantheon of pre-Viking gods and creatures, because why not? You are awesome and they suck. This version has some nice upgrades compared to the PlayStation version. For example, here you'll enjoy true 4K resolution with unlocked frame rates. I can already smell your computer's fear because you may smell him burning. You will also get higher resolution shadows, improved screen space reflections, ultra-wide screen support and so on. Game also supports DualShock controllers.
ULTRAKILL.
Now we are getting serious. This game is always among the top 20 best rated games on the whole Steam, and that is among tens of thousands of games. It's ridiculous how good this game is.
ULTRAKILL
Is a fast-paced, ultra-violent, old-school first-person shooter. It fuses together classic shooters like Quake and modern shooters like Doom Eternal with character action games like Devil May Cry. Here mankind has gone extinct and the only beings left on Earth are machines fueled by blood. And now that blood is starting to run out on the surface and machines are racing to the depths of hell to search for more. Total nonsense, but I like it. People on Steam describe this game quite politely. They say this is a Doom Eternal if it was on crack and also on heroin. And I would add that playing
ULTRAKILL.
It's like eating potato salad, except if you dry it out and snort it. You can try the demo version on Steam if you have any doubts. Portal 2. This is the best game on Steam according to the SteamDB, the very best on the whole Steam. Portal 2 is immune to passing time because it's definitely one of the best puzzle games ever created. And you probably know it well, but have you ever fully completed it? Maybe when you played they challenged you too hard, and now is the time to make another run. Your brain is definitely way different now than it was when you played it for the first time. So you may see challenges from a different perspective than before. Or not, we are not getting younger after all. And if you never played it, what can I say? I envy you because you are up for a treat. First Portal is also discounted and it's a proud owner of 7th place among the best Steam games, and the price is a joke. Doom. The most famous first-person shooter was reborn in 2016, and since then it holds the overwhelmingly positive reviews not only on Steam but in our hearts as well. You will encounter relentless demons, destructive guns and fast fluid movement. Whether you are obliterating demon hordes in the single-player campaign or competing against your friends in multiplayer. People on Steam are saying that every priest will approve this game. Eradicating demons is a holy deed in every religion.
Except if you worship Satan.
Yeah, I can see the flaw of my idea now. ID Software should create a game where humans are defending from angel invasion as well.
Don't drink beer, it's a sin.
They would say, and then you could just shoot them. I would definitely play that. Stardew Valley. This is probably the most famous life and farming sim on Steam, although it wasn't the original idea that propelled the game into the stars. The makers of Stardew Valley were inspired to recreate the look and feel of a game called Harvest Moon. So here you can create your own character, build the farm of your dreams, become a master rancher, socialize with other characters and explore the world around you. You can have a husband or wife and kids, also a cat or a dog, and a lot of vegetables you can harvest and sell. Almost all the reviews are positive. I had to scroll down for 5 minutes to find the first negative one, and it was some kind of gibberish anyway. If you like farming and life sims, Stardew Valley is a must-play for you. Resident Evil 2. This is a complete remake of a classic game. Overwhelmingly positive review score softly hints that it was a complete success as well. Resident Evil 2 offers a fresh take on a classic survival horror saga with realistic visuals, immersive audio and a new over-the-shoulder camera. You will also get modernized controls on top of gameplay modes from the original game. I can still remember when I played the original game when I was 14 years old, and somehow I had my mental balls big enough to play it every evening after school. Well, on those rare occasions when I actually went to school. I'm a YouTuber not because I was very good at studying, you know, but I was good at games. That's why you should avoid me if you need your appendix surgically removed, but if you want your boredom removed, I'm your guy, that's for sure. Batman: Arkham City Game of the Year Edition. Overwhelmingly positive reviews is not something we can easily ignore, and the game will send you flying through the expansive Arkham City, 5 times larger than the game world in Batman: Arkham Asylum. The game is home for all of Gotham City's thugs, gangsters and insane criminal masterminds, including Catwoman, the Joker, the Riddler, Two-Face, Harley Quinn, your ex-girlfriend, the Penguin, Mr. Freeze and many others. The game allows you to genuinely experience what it feels to be the Dark Knight, delivering justice on the streets of Gotham City. Well, in our world, Batman would be sitting behind the bars, because in most countries, even defending from criminals and using excessive force is forbidden. When the world became such a soft place, I didn't even notice. Terraria. The game is way more than just a flat version of Minecraft. Terraria is so much more beautiful, with more special effects and more dynamic fights. Here you can craft hundreds of items, build houses or even castles in any form you desire. Yes, even in that one you are thinking about.
Castle of Boob?
Yes, the Castle of Boob. Here you'll have to survive dangerous nights, defeat waves of enemies and dig down below to encounter some unspeakable horrors. Yeah, really, some of them are really difficult to describe, although don't play it alone. Play it with your wife, brother, friend or mother-in-law. You will enhance the experience many times. Slay the Spire. More than 100,000 players are recommending this game for you, and so do I. Slay the Spire is a fuse of card games and roguelike titles. Here you can craft a unique deck, encounter bizarre creatures and discover relics of immense power while trying to climb up the ladder. Game features a dynamic deck building, so assemble your deck wisely. Discover hundreds of cards to add to your deck with each attempt at climbing the spire. Select cards that work together to efficiently dispatch foes and reach the top. People on Steam are talking that Slay the Spire is really addictive, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hours played in the comment section. 200 is quite a casual number here, so another game that will keep your virginity safe and sound for a long time. A Short Hike. 99% of positive reviews.
What?
Yeah, I know, it looks like some kind of miracle. Games with such ratings do not exist. You know, like elves, or politicians who don't lie, or elves who don't lie.
Those lying bastards!
So here you can hike and climb through peaceful mountainside landscapes, follow the marked trails or explore the backcountry as you make your way to the summit. Along the way, meet other hikers and discover hidden treasures. People on Steam are talking that this game is Breath of the Wild crossbred with Animal Crossing, and the only bad thing about this game is that it ends. And it ends really quickly. About 1.5 hours of your life will be made better by this game. A masterpiece, no doubt. The Binding of Isaac. 97% of positive reviews is something that must be exhibited in the Museum of Awesome, and those 97% are left not by some bunch of 200 people. Oh no, you have to add 3 zeros to that. So more than 200,000 people are saying that this game is awesome. It's an automatic must play and you have no arguments against that. So the story begins when Isaac's mother starts hearing the voice of God in her head, demanding a sacrifice be made to prove her faith. Isaac escapes into the basement, facing droves of deranged enemies and lost brothers and sisters. You know, those who were sacrificed before to prove the faith, also his fears and deepest terrors, and eventually his loving mother. Here you'll find over 500 hours of gameplay, challenge runs, more than 450 items, controller support and 2-player local co-op. The game also supports 60 frames per second refresh rate and, listen to that, 637 Steam achievements. So I guess it's your time to collect them all. Slime Rancher. Last time I checked, it held 18th place among the best games on Steam. Yeah, it is ranked higher than Counter-Strike, Half-Life 2, Dishonored or Fallout New Vegas.
Incredibile.
So this is a charming first-person sandbox experience. You will play a plucky young rancher who sets out for a life 1,000 light years away from Earth. Each day will present new challenges and risky opportunities as you attempt to amass a great fortune in the business of slime ranching. Collect colorful slimes, grow crops, harvest resources and explore the untamed wilds. Also here you can complete daily requests from other ranchers to get bonus rewards. Earn money to upgrade your stuff, build more corrals and expand your ranch. This is a relaxing and fun game, very suitable after a hard work day or as a casual time burner when you have nothing else to do. Dave the Diver. This is a casual single-player adventure RPG featuring deep-sea exploration and fishing during the day and sushi restaurant management at night. Here you will dive into the ever-changing blue hole and use a harpoon and other weapons to catch fish and other various unlucky creatures. You will upgrade and forge equipment with collected resources and sushi restaurant profits to prepare for the dangers that lurk in the unknown. Here you will also meet quirky but lovable characters and a story full of jokes and other humorous scenes. The game is a combination of pixel and 3D graphics that provide an interesting and original art style. The adventure is set in the real marine environment of a blue hole, filled with over 200 kinds of sea creatures, so catch and make sushi from all of them. Chants of Sennaar. The review score on Steam of this game is something out of a fairy tale. 98% of positive reviews is not something you see every day. So this adventure puzzle game has a wonderful story. Divided since the dawn of time, the peoples of the tower no longer speak to each other, just like you and your neighbor who dislikes potato salad. But it is said that one day a traveler will find the wisdom to break down the walls and restore the balance. And it's you, obviously. So probably all these people are already doomed. No offense. He'll explore and discover an enchanting world in a colorful poetic setting inspired by the myth of Babel, where men have forgotten their past. You will travel the endless steps of a prodigious labyrinth, uncover ominous secrets and unveil the mysteries of this fascinating universe where ancient languages are both the lock and the key. People are saying that this game has really fun puzzles, beautiful soundtrack and a really interesting, captivating story. Fallout New Vegas Ultimate PCR. This is a legendary game and this deal is the best version of it possible. Pack contains DLCs like Dead Money, Honest Hearts, Old World Blues, Lonesome Road and so on. So basically if you play the game when it initially came out or never tried it, this version is the best way to experience Fallout New Vegas. Keep in mind that this is one of the best Fallout games ever created. You know, including classic games and new ones, Fallout New Vegas outshines them all. Everyone who played New Vegas is talking quite unanimously about its greatness. The game was created by Obsidian, the same guys who made Fallout clone The Outer Worlds and now are probably making the Elder Scrolls clone named Avowed. So serious clone people made this serious game and this price is kinda friendly. Not like all the inhabitants of the desert you will encounter in-game. Totally accurate battle simulator. If you are just bored and want to kill some time in single player without thinking too much, I doubt there is a better game for that than Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. At first, it's really funny. Second, it challenges your IQ and actual tactical skills. All you need to do is to choose your units, place them strategically and press the fight button. They will do all the battling part by themselves and you will observe it like some overarching god who has no power to influence anything anymore. So when your army is ripped apart and its scattered remains lie on the ground, then you may think of another strategy and try again, and then again. Some of the battles in the campaign are crazy hard and will squeeze your IQ through your nostrils. Also, if you have some doubts, the game has about 100,000 reviews left on Steam and the score is really close to 100%. I'm not kidding, it's probably one of the best rated games on the whole Steam. Hades. 98% of positive reviews left by hundreds of thousands of people is the best proof that Hades is a masterpiece. This is a godlike, roguelike dungeon crawler that combines the best aspects of action RPG games and is a wonderful storyteller. As the immortal prince of the underworld, you wield powers and mythic weapons of Olympus to break free from the clutches of the god of the dead himself. You must grow strong and unravel more of the story with each unique escape attempt. Yeah, each attempt. That kinda sums up this game where you will be dying all the time. But dying is a part of Hades, it's not something you should be afraid of. And people on Steam are saying, well, it doesn't matter what they say. It's a masterpiece. They are all praising the game and saying that it is the best ever, just like potato salad. Katana ZERO. This is a stylish neo-noir action platformer featuring instant death combat. You may ask, who will be instantly dying, you or your enemies? Well, that is a matter of your skills. If you suck as a gamer, you know the answer already. So here you'll slash, dash and manipulate time to unravel your past and leave the trail of blood and intestines everywhere you go. The pace of the game somehow reminded me of Hotline Miami. Super fast action where you will have to time your attacks perfectly or, you die. People on Steam are saying that the only bad thing about this game is that it ends. Hollow Knight. Here you'll explore twisting caverns, ancient cities and deadly wastes, encounter battle-tainted creatures, befriend bizarre bugs and solve ancient mysteries at the kingdom's heart. Game is hard and is often compared to Dark Souls. Keep that in mind before you fall in love with those lovely graphics. They are quite deadly. Although if you don't like bugs, you will get your chance to kill a few hundred of them, or be killed by them. Yeah, that is more likely. There are a lot of bug-like different creatures infesting these lands and only you can exterminate them with your gaming skills. There are also plenty of good bugs as well, so I don't know what this game tries to teach us. I guess be friends with friends and be enemies with enemies.
Wisdom, yeah.
Dyson Sphere program. A new kind of supercomputer has been developed, a machine whose superior artificial intelligence and computing capability will push humanity even further. I guess they built it so they could finally invent vodka without a hangover. Huge computing power is required for a task like that, that's for sure. Only one problem stands in the way. There's not enough energy in the whole planet to feed this machine. So you need to construct the Dyson Sphere, the thing that engulfs the star itself and sucks all of its energy. You know, all that energy will not suck itself, and sucking is a hard job. Ask your sister. Celeste. This epic platformer has won the Game Awards in its category in 2018. Overwhelmingly positive reviews still decorate its Steam page. This is a narrative-driven single-player adventure with a charming cast of characters and touching story of self-discovery. You'll climb a massive mountain teeming with 700 screens of hardcore platforming challenges and devious secrets. If you have a nostalgic itch for platformer games, Celeste will scratch it without a doubt. And people on Steam are saying that this game will teach you how relaxing it is to die over and over again. And yeah, here you will die more than in Dark Souls, but that is okay, your mental health is strong, right?
Mental health who?
I don't know, never had one, shut up. Garry's mod. This game is really just a giant toy box. Absent of any objectives and rules, it will provide you with various props, character models, and a whole load of tools from which you can create all manner of weird and kinky stuff. You spawn objects and weld them together to create your own contraptions. Whether that's a car, a rocket, a potato salad, or something that doesn't have a name yet, it's up to you. You can do it offline or join the thousands of players who play online each day. Yeah, no joke, the game was released 17 years ago, but I can see that while I'm doing this voiceover there are 60,000 players online simultaneously. The Garry's mod community is a tremendous source of content and has added hundreds of unique modes to the game. You can be a plant, a soldier, or a beer bottle, or just beer without bottle, you name it. Hotline Miami. A game where you shoot things while listening to amazing music. What could be better? Well, probably a lot of things, but let's not dive into our fantasies about a bowl of refreshing potato salad or, things that we cannot afford. But you know what is the thing almost everyone can afford? Come on, don't say anything about my sister. I mean, everyone can afford this game, or to become my supporter on Patreon, or here on YouTube. Alright, I know, that was a nice try. Anyway, Hotline Miami wouldn't be this good if not for the music. The atmosphere it creates along with the carnage on the screen is the best kind of symbiosis I have ever seen, although be ready to press R to restart, over and over again. So keep in mind that it is hard, harder than you can imagine.
That's what she said.
Satisfactory. Here you will defeat nature by building massive factories everywhere, expand wherever and however you want, without any annoying regulations we have here on Earth, because you are not on Earth anymore. All those animals and plants that live here are scientifically unimportant. They live to serve you and your factory. You'll find about 30 square kilometers, which is about 11 square miles of terrain filled with unique flora and fauna. You can recycle everything and make factories out of them. Build beautiful metal constructions instead of ugly nature, cover the whole surface of the planet with your elegant conveyor belts and train tracks. Make that pathetic natural habitat disappear and make beauty instead. Be a true hero of the industrial era. Dead Cells. Overwhelmingly positive reviews should lock your attention even if you don't like pixel art graphics, and this game can stand strong behind the name of the style. It's true art. The game is really beautiful, just like you, my friend, but graphics are just one side of the coin. People on Steam are saying that this roguelite Metroidvania is probably the best game of the genre. Along with the graphics, you will get great music and gameplay more addictive than Potato Salad. People are also joking that here using the machete and pistol weapon is the closest thing we'll ever get to Bloodborne on PC. And speaking about platforms, it should be an amazing experience on Steam Deck. Resident Evil 4. 6 years have passed since the biological disaster in Raccoon City. You are one of the survivors of the incident, and you have been sent to rescue the president's kidnapped daughter. You track her to a secluded European village where there is something terribly wrong with the locals. They all put pineapple into potato salad. I'm kidding, of course, nothing that horrifying. Those people are just crazy. You know, they want to kill you, mutilate your body, and then do something else with it. What a nice place to be, you know? So you will be living this nightmare and you will do your best trying to survive. People are saying that after playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, it was hard to hope that anything can be that level of awesomeness, but Resident Evil 4 does miracles. It is worth your money on sale, off sale, in between sales, in between boobies.
Wait, what?
Shut up. Players are saying that this remake is just excellent, and you know, I can only agree, this game is awesome. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This is probably the best fantasy open-world RPG ever created, and I doubt that I could find anyone who at least never heard of it. Well, at least inside the Western influence hemisphere, it's a true legend. On Steam it has more than 600,000 reviews, and 96% of these people recommend this game for you. Anyway, the game has an incredible story, super fun gameplay, and a huge dark fantasy open world to explore. The coolest thing is, of course, your profession. You kill monsters for money, so you can just travel around the map and fulfill contracts ignoring the main story as long as you want or as long as you can get a new contract. And every single monster hunt is a handcrafted mission with different outcomes and sometimes hard moral choices. The Witcher is probably the best game I have ever played.
Oxygen not included.
Here you'll find that scarcities of oxygen, warmth, and everything else are constant threats to your colony's survival. You will guide colonists through the perils of subterranean asteroid living, and watch as their population grows until they are not simply surviving, but thriving. You know, like Bear Grylls in nature, except here you don't need to drink your own piss. Though you can do that if you want in real life, I'm not judging you. So here, just like in Dungeon Manager games, everything in your space colony is under your control. From excavation to resource allocation, right down to plumbing and power systems. Resources will begin depleting with your first breath, so be sure to dig fast if you want to live. Your inhabitants each have different and potentially destructive ways of reacting to stress, so be sure to always keep them happy, whatever the cost, or they will all go amok and you will have to start over again. Cuphead. This is a classic run-and-gun action game heavily focused on boss battles. Inspired by cartoons of the 1930s, the visuals and audio are created with the same techniques of the era. For example, traditional hand-drawn cell animation, watercolor backgrounds, and original jazz recordings. You play as Cuphead as you traverse strange worlds, acquire new weapons, learn powerful super moves, and discover hidden secrets while you try to pay your debt back to the devil. Game is painfully difficult, and if you have no patience, it's not for you. Avoid at all costs, or buy and try to prove yourself that you can do it. You probably can't, but you never know until you try. Game's art and atmosphere is absolutely 10 cold beers out of 10, and as I've mentioned, difficulty as well. Risk of Rain 2. Everyone who played Risk of Rain 2 can agree on one thing: it plays way better than it looks, meaning that everything you are seeing now to you looks like a graphic gibberish of some sort, but if you take control of the hero, everything changes immediately. The game has 96% of positive reviews left by hundreds of thousands of players who bought the game. You can't argue with that. So here you'll fight your way to the final boss and escape, or continue your run indefinitely to see how long you can survive. A unique scaling system means that both you and your foes limitlessly increase in power over the course of the game. People on Steam are talking that Risk of Rain 2 is a bit unfriendly for new players. It will take time for you to adapt, so be prepared for that. It won't guide you by your hand or penis. Don't Starve. Here you play as Wilson, a gentleman scientist who has been trapped by a demon and transported to a mysterious wilderness world. You must learn to exploit this environment and its inhabitants if you ever hope to escape and find your way back home. Although be warned, you will not be given any instructions. No help, no hand-holding, no penis holding. Here you will start with nothing. Craft, hunt, research, farm and fight to survive. The game is really challenging, but it is also one of the best games for survival fans. People on Steam are saying that taking this game for this price is a steal, and 96% of positive reviews can confirm that without a doubt. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This game is so cute and dreamy it can break even the most macho man. So if you are a macho man, after playing this game you must hunt a deer with your bare hands and eat its heart while it is still beating. Otherwise you will stay sensitive and vulnerable to feelings forever. I'm kidding, of course, feelings are great. You can feel whatever you want and express that without fear, no matter how many balls you have in between your legs. The desirable number is 7, but not everyone was born so lucky. Anyway, Ori is a great platformer game with a deep story and even deeper feelings. Just make sure, as with almost all platformers, use a controller and not a keyboard, because otherwise only one feeling will engulf you.
And that is rage.
Broforce. This platformer holds 78th position on the list of the best games ever released on Steam. When evil threatens the world calls on Broforce, an underfunded, overpowered paramilitary organization dealing exclusively in excessive force. Brace your loins with up to 4 players to run and gun as dozens of different bros and eliminate the opposing terrorist forces that threaten our way of life. You'll battle in a flurry of bullets and non-stop action through various missions set amongst the picturesque treetops and the absurdly dangerous lumber mills, teeming with enemy soldiers, excessive artillery and inconveniently placed circular saws. So keep your balls close to yourself, don't wave them around as you are used to. And I wouldn't be a gaming channel if I couldn't tell you a secret from time to time. You can try Broforce absolutely free, but you need to search for a different name on Steam. Free standalone about an hour-long mission is called Expendabros. It was made as a promotion for the movie Expendables 3, and it is made so well that overwhelmingly positive reviews even on this one is not a surprise at all. And if you are somehow not subscribed, I've just proved to you that you should.
Yeah, do it now.
Divinity Original Sin 2. Here you can become some really interesting hero. For example, you can become a flesh-eating elf. You may think, what, is that the lame feature that regenerates health like ghouls have in every game? No, it's way cooler. Once I found a dead body, and there was an option to, eat its leg. I was like, why not? And I ate it. And suddenly I saw who killed the guy because this feature of mine worked in this mysterious way, and I completely forgot that I have it. I just ate the leg because I can. So the game gives you freedom that is sometimes a bit absurd. That is awesome. Anyway, here you will explore the vast and layered world alone or in a party of up to 4 friends in a cooperative play. You can even play on split screen with your mother-in-law. Go anywhere, unleash your imagination and explore almost endless ways to interact with the world. There's more to experience in PvP and Game Master modes. In the latter, you'll create your own stories or download fan-made campaigns from Steam Workshop. A must-play, that's a fact. Don't Starve Together. In this open-world survival game, you will discover and explore a massive, procedurally generated and biome-rich world with countless resources and threats. Whether you stick to the surface world, go spelunking in the caves, dive deeper into the ancient archive, or set sail for the lunar islands, it will be a long time before you run out of things to do. Here everything from seasonal bosses, wandering menaces, lurking shadow creatures, and plenty of flora and fauna is ready to turn you into a spooky ghost. Besides fighting and adventuring, you will plow fields and sow seeds to grow the farm of your dreams. Tend to your crops to help your fellow survivors stay fed and ready for the challenges to come. Or, starve together if you are like me. For example, once I tried to grow a watermelon in real life. It took me 2 years for this plant to blossom, and then in the next 6 months I managed to finally grow a real watermelon fruit. And this is a real photo my father took. My fully ripe watermelon is near a quince and a small teaspoon, so it's good that I am a YouTuber and not a farmer. Anyway, you can play the game alone or with friends. Online and LAN PvP and co-op gameplay is available. GRIS. Here you will play as a young girl lost in her own world, dealing with a painful experience in her life. Probably someone put a slice of pineapple in her potato salad, and she can't recover after that.
Oh, the horror.
So as the story unfolds, you will grow emotionally and see the world in a different way, revealing new paths to explore using your new abilities. Here you won't encounter any enemies, there is no danger or death. And just look how beautiful this game is. The art style is absolutely stunning. People on Steam are saying that not only the art, but absolutely everything in this game is great. Music, gameplay, and even the story will leave you gobsmacked. And it's not so hard to believe in those words. Just look at it. There aren't many things that are as beautiful as this game. Well, except boobs. Sorry, GRIS, you lose on this one. Gorogoa is an elegant evolution of the puzzle genre told through a beautiful hand-drawn story. The gameplay is wholly original, consisting of lavishly illustrated panels which you arrange and combine in various ways to solve artsy puzzles. Impeccably simple yet satisfyingly complex. People on Steam are talking that this may be the best puzzle game ever created. Well, I have to agree, it is definitely one of the best. Very imaginative and made entirely of art. Tomb Raider. It is in the 80th place among the best rated Steam games of all time. Yeah, I was surprised as well. So it's fair to say that this is the best Tomb Raider game ever released. And if you were thinking about playing some game from this franchise but couldn't decide where to start, there is your answer. Start with this one. Although Tomb Raider is quite short, you can probably beat it in one weekend over 2 longer sessions of gameplay. That also makes it perfect for those who don't like games with 50 or more hours of story. Return of the Obra Dinn. In 1802, the merchant ship Obra Dinn set out from London for the Orient with over 200 tons of trade goods. 6 months later, it hadn't met its rendezvous point and was declared lost at sea. But early this morning, about 5 years after its disappearance, the Obra Dinn drifted into a port with damaged sails and no visible crew. As insurance investigator for the East India Company's London office, you dispatch immediately to find means to board the ship and prepare an assessment of damages. So this is a first-person mystery adventure based on exploration and logical deduction. In other words, a story-rich, single-player, atmospheric, horror detective retro walking simulator Return of the Jedi of the Planet of the Apes. Batman Arkham Asylum, Game of the Year Edition. This is the first one of the Arkham games. You may think that it is quite an old game, and you are right, around 15 years is not a joke. But surprisingly, the graphics are still great. I can't even imagine how this game felt back then, because when I look at it, it's like it never aged at all. Some Elijah Wood of games. Anyway, it still has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam and is one of the best rated games on the store overall. Here you'll use the free flow combat system to chain together unlimited combos seamlessly and battle with huge groups of the Joker's henchmen in brutal melee brawls. You will have to solve interesting puzzles with the help of a cutting-edge forensic tools, including X-ray scanning, fingerprint scan, spray, and pheromone tracker. And sooner or later you will meet famous villains, such as the Joker, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Jada Pinkett Smith. Well, maybe not the latter, but anyway, this game is a masterpiece even if you don't like Batman. RimWorld. This game is always in the top 10 by rating among the best Steam games of all time. That is pretty high, probably even higher than Seth Rogen and Snoop Dogg combined. No, I'm kidding, that is not possible. RimWorld is a sci-fi colony sim driven by an intelligent AI storyteller. Inspired by Dwarf Fortress, Firefly, and Dune, RimWorld is designed to co-author tragic, twisted, and triumphant stories about imprisoned pirates, desperate colonists, starvation, and survival. It works by controlling the random events that the world throws at you. Every thunderstorm, pirate raid, and traveling salesman is a card dealt into your story by the AI storyteller. There are several storytellers to choose from. Randy Random does crazy stuff, Cassandra Classic goes for rising tension, and Phoebe Chillax likes to relax. I won't tell you what Tim Penison does. No. You begin with 3 survivors of a shipwreck on a distant world, and then your story begins. You will have to manage colonists' moods, needs, wounds, illnesses, and addictions. The game is not only huge, it's massive. Like, you know, your mama. Dorfromantik. This is a relaxing building strategy and puzzle game, in which you place tiles to create ever-growing, idyllic village landscapes. With Dorfromantik you can immerse yourself in a quiet, peaceful world at any time, and take a break from everyday life, which usually sucks. At the same time, the game offers a challenge for those who are looking for one. To be the high score, you need to carefully plan and strategically place your tiles, so you will have to use that tiny organ in between your ears. And it's good for you to take a break from killing countless zombies, riding dragons and hunting Bigfoot. It somehow reminds me of a tabletop game named Carcassonne. If you like that, you will love this game as well, and vice versa. And now is the time when you subscribe, or if you are already subscribed, hit that bell notification button. Let's be friends with benefits. Resident Evil Village. The story is set a few years after the events in Resident Evil 7. The all-new storyline begins when a man and his wife start living peacefully in a new location, free from their past nightmares and horrors. And just as they are building their new life together, then, you know, stuff happens. Otherwise, it would be a love story, not a fantasy story with horror elements. Village is one of the coolest games ever, with an atmosphere creepier than your neighbor-in-law.
Wait, what? That exists?
I don't know, I hope not. Also, this game is not a pure horror game as you can imagine. It's really not that scary, it's just creepy. And overwhelmingly positive reviews are here for a reason. This game is fantastic. Also, you can play the free demo version on Steam. The Last Campfire. This is an adventure, a story of a lost ember trapped in a puzzling place, searching for meaning and a way home. You'll travel deeper into the lands beyond the dark forest and overcome the adversities before you. Discover beautiful wilderness filled with lost inhabitants, strange creatures and mysterious ruins. 97% of all people who bought this game are recommending it to you. People on Steam are talking that this is a beautiful story-driven game filled with great art and even greater music. The puzzles game throws at you ranges from fairly easy to a medium. Nothing will bend your brains inside out in this game. If you fail here somehow, it's a pure problem of your IQ, I'm sorry. If you are in doubt, you can try the demo version on Steam for free. Shadow Tactics: Blades of the Shogun. This is a hardcore tactical stealth game set in medieval Japan around the Edo period. You will take control of a team of deadly specialists and sneak into the shadows between dozens of enemies. Choose your approach when infiltrating mighty castles, snowy mountain monasteries and hidden forest camps. Set traps, poison your opponents or completely avoid enemy contact. Game has an overwhelmingly positive review score, meaning that for this price it is a masterpiece. Although keep in mind that the game sometimes may prove to be insanely difficult and some missions are beyond hard to crack. So be sure that you have not forgotten how to use that tiny, not very important organ between your ears, because you will need it more than ever. People on Steam are talking that if you like classic Commandos or Desperados 3 for example, this game for sure is your spoon of potato salad. Dying Light Definitive Edition. This is a great deal which includes the full game and a huge expansion with a new story, vast original map and a customizable buggy to drive. Also 2 additional game modes, 2 additional quarantine zones, exclusive weapons and outfits. Anyway, you will have to survive in a city ravaged by, obviously, zombie virus and freely roam around basking in its unique atmosphere. You will also use parkour skills to jump or climb buildings and reach remote areas. But the most dramatic shift in the world comes at the sundown, as you change from a hunter to a hunted. That is a terrifying experience and you would never leave the safe zone at night, but the best quests and rewards await you only when the darkness falls. Also, if you are used to taking free games from the Epic Store, you may already have it, so check your library. Monument Valley. You will embark on a journey as Ida, the silent princess, through impossible environments and illusionary puzzles. You will experience this meditative and calming puzzle game by manipulating monuments and creating evolving paths to explore new, surreal and mysterious worlds. So basically you will solve tricky but immensely satisfying puzzles with optical illusions at their core. Evolve landscapes to reveal pathways that would have otherwise been impossible. And as you progress, discover beautiful architecture, transforming landscapes through pushing, pulling, clicking, raising, lowering and more. 98% of positive reviews is not a thing you can easily ignore, so don't! Enter the Gungeon. This is a bullet hell dungeon crawler following a band of misfits seeking to shoot, loot, dodge roll and table flip their way by reaching the legendary treasure, the gun that can kill the past. Imagine if you had one. You could kill your stupid decision to become whatever you are right now and become a doctor of ding-dongs instead. Be famous, have many fans. It's not too late, you know, you can still change everything. Anyway, you will select your hero or team up in co-op and battle your way to the bottom of the Gungeon, surviving a challenging and evolving series of levels filled with dangerously adorable bosses. The score is overwhelmingly positive, so you can't go wrong with this one. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Bound to protect a young lord who is a descendant of an ancient bloodline, you become the target of many vicious enemies. When the young lord is captured, nothing will stop you on a perilous quest to regain your honor. Well, except death. Death will stop you many times. Keep in mind that Sekiro is the creation of the same developers as the Souls games, and it's meant for people with masochistic tendencies. If you hate yourself, this game is for you. Although I have one piece of advice on how to easily beat this game. It's very simple. Stop being a noob and get good. Against the Storm. Game was just released, that's why the discount is not as big as I want it to be, but it has 96% of positive review score, so let's not be afraid of the word masterpiece. This is a roguelite city builder set in a gloomy fantasy world. Artistically, this is one of the coolest RTS city builder games I have seen lately, except one thing, here it never stops raining. Anyway, here you are a pioneer sent into the wilds to establish and manage new settlements inhabited by smart beavers, lizards and humans. Your goal is to survive long enough and gather the valuable resources necessary to rebuild and upgrade your city. It's the only safe haven against the Blightstorm, a vile cycle of destruction ravaging everything in its path. It Takes Two. As you can probably imagine, this is a co-op game for two people. Here you can invite a friend to join for free with Friends Pass and together master unique and connected character abilities, help each other with the obstacles and have a great time in general. For example, my friend who's 40+ years old and usually plays games like Detroit Become Human, Observer, The Last of Us and similar gloomy stuff, played this with his wife and he said that this was the best game he tried in half a year. So it's obvious that the game has no age or genre restrictions, it's just pure fun. So grab your mother-in-law and have fun together. Dredge. So this is a fishing game, and in real life I am terrible at fishing. My last two fishing trips were marked by my own blood because I caught myself, but Dredge is not just a fishing game, it's a fishing game with a twist. After dark it becomes a Lovecraftian fishing game. The world around you is teeming with creatures from the void, and when the night sets in, our worlds collide and cosmic horrors enter our realm. Not as scary as your ex-mother-in-law, but still terrifying things. So ideally you want to return to a harbor before the night sets in, so you won't become a dinner for some malevolent demigod of the depths. You can also dock in some safe location and sleep during the night. Of course, it is easier said than done, because the game uses a very cool time management mechanic. If you do nothing, time doesn't move. Like for real, if you just swing on the waves and admire the horizon, you can stay like this forever. But when you start sailing, the timer starts ticking, and at 6 PM Lovecraftian madness starts to settle in. This is a wonderful and honestly kinda relaxing game. Well, except when you go into mangroves. Oh, it's not relaxing at all. Anyway, the game is absolutely 10 cold beers out of 10. A must play. Valheim. Most of us can remember the hype it caused on release date, and the hype is well deserved. This game is really a masterpiece with a review score never, at least on Steam, never below 90%. It may scare you that the game is still in early access after all those years, but if you focus on the main objectives only, it will still provide you with more than 70 hours of gameplay. And keep in mind that on sale you can get it for about €12 or dollars, so it's a nice addition to your wishlist. And in general, Valheim is a brutal exploration and survival game for 1 to 10 players, set in a procedurally generated world inspired by Norse mythology. You will craft powerful weapons, construct long houses, grow your balls and slay mighty foes to prove yourself to Odin. Untitled Goose Game. Ever wanted to be an evil goose? No? Well, you should, because you can be a menace to society, not only being human that you are. Here you'll make your way around town, setting up ranks, stealing hats, honking a lot, and generally ruining everyone's day. This is a nice and funny puzzle game. And also, if you ever feel alone, you can play co-op with your mother-in-law, and that's how there will be 2 evil geese. The more the merrier, right? If you love making people suffer, this game is definitely for you. Noita. This is the game which will allow you to dive straight into adventure without sinking many hours preparing for battle. Noita is a magical action roguelite game set in a world where every pixel is physically simulated. Here you'll fight, explore, melt, burn, freeze and evaporate your way through the procedurally generated world using spells you created by yourself. So,
Vitus delitus,
and
vodcus autos of thinus eros.
is an option at last. You will explore a variety of environments ranging from coal mines to freezing wastelands while delving deeper in search for unknown mysteries and use your magic to crush your enemies and manipulate the world around you. The Wolf Among Us. This is a gritty, violent and mature thriller based on the award-winning Fables comic books. You'll discover that a brutal, bloody murder is just a beginning where every decision can have enormous consequences. And it's not only what you choose to do will affect your story, but when you choose to do it as well. You don't need to know anything about the comics this game is based on, because events in this story are set before the events seen in the first book. And this game gives you an option to beat up practically anyone you don't like. Sadly, you can't import that energy-sucking coworker of yours in this game, but hey, you can beat him up in real life instead. I mean, if you are stronger than him. If not, just smile and blame your genes. The Talos Principle. You find yourself in a strange, contradictory world of ancient ruins and advanced technology. Tasked by your creator with solving a series of increasingly complex puzzles, you must decide whether to have faith or to ask the difficult questions. Who are you? What is your purpose? And what is the best recipe of the potato salad? You'll have to solve more than 120 immersive puzzles, divert drones, manipulate laser beams and even replicate time to prove yourself and find a way out. If you think that you have a great intellect, this game will humble you down, I promise. Desperados 3. You can kill quietly with a knife or take out multiple foes with your revolvers. I especially like the knife part. It somehow feels more personal and, of course, requires more skill. Scenarios Desperados presents are far from cliché. Situations are quite original but also familiar with a nice vibe of Wild West. I say vibe because here you will fight not only in small frontier towns, but also in creepy swamps, riverbanks and even in sprawling modern cities. Here you can choose between non-lethal and deadly attacks, meaning that you can finish the game without killing anyone. I have no idea why you may do that, it's boring. I live my real life without killing anyone. Why should I do the same where I am allowed to snap a neck or two? For example, I am against hunting for fun, but I play the hunter and I slaughter all the animals in the forest for pure entertainment. You know why? Because they are not real. Duh. Anyway, Desperados 3 is like an old good Commandos game, but modern with amazing visuals and great quality overall. Black Mesa. This is actually a Half-Life, just with better graphics and better, you know, everything. Keep in mind that this is not just a simple remaster, this is a quality remake that expands the scope of the original and massively improves its final chapters. And to be honest, today Black Mesa is the best way to experience Half-Life. No clunky old-school graphics, no compatibility problems, great gameplay and a really interesting, suspenseful story. To say short, Half-Life is awesome, and Black Mesa may be the greatest way for you to play it. People on Steam are saying that Black Mesa is one of the best remakes ever made, and the game doesn't give you any reason to disagree with these wise words. What Remains of Edith Finch. 17-year-old Edith Finch is the last surviving member of the eccentric Finch family. All of her closest relatives and family have died violently at a young age, leading to rumors about a family curse. Now she's on her way to her Finch mansion, a bizarre ramshackle building hidden deep within the forests of the state of Washington. Once there, she intends to research her family's history and learn the truth behind the alleged curse. While this can sound like a horror game, it's actually just a tale about one family that is more interesting than your family, or mine. People are saying that this is more than just a game, it is a unique form of art. Manifold Garden. The game looks like a creation of AI, where you prompted it to create something 3D, geometrical and physics-based. But this game is not just beautiful gibberish, it's an actual game with an expansive and visually striking world filled with mind-bending puzzles. You'll have to manipulate gravity to gain new perspectives and walk on any visible surface. You will explore structures that repeat infinitely, and also play with photo mode and make some beautiful art for your office. I'm not kidding, your boss, if he's not a gamer, will approve this quite easily, and if he is a gamer, that will be even easier. It seems that the game was made mostly by one man, and that is a huge achievement. People on Steam are saying that you don't need drugs to feel like you are on drugs while playing this game. Also, it's very satisfying to watch all these structures unfold in front of you, or should I say unmanifold in front of you. Townscaper. What a beautiful game this is. Well, it's hard to call it a game, to be fair. There are no goals or gameplay, just plenty of building and plenty of beauty. That's it. As developers say, Townscaper is an experimental passion project, more of a toy than a game. Pick colors from the palette, plop down colored blocks of houses on the irregular grid, and watch Townscaper's underlying algorithm automatically turn those blocks into cute little houses, arches, stairways, bridges, and lush backyards. You can build your own cold beer town, cold beerville, or even whole cold beeristan and enjoy the amazing view. Pilgrims. Do you know about Samorost and Machinarium? It is another creation of the developers who made these wonderful games, and Pilgrims kinda look like a wonderful game as well, so don't doubt it, I forbid. You'll roam the land as you please and make new friends, share a laugh with your fellow travelers and help them complete their little stories your way. How many different solutions can you find? This game is meant for playing, not for beating it. It's the journey, not the destination. Game is packed with 45 achievements and amazing music, and just look at this price, looks cute and friendly for your wallet. Strange horticulture. Here you'll find and identify new plants, pet your cat, speak to a coven, or join a cult. Use your growing collection to influence the story and unravel dark mysteries. You are a citizen of a charming town surrounded by hag-infested forests and rugged mountains. You are the horticulturist, owner of a local plant store. As a cast of colorful customers come by your shop, you are quickly thrust into an occult mystery stretching back hundreds of years. Explore the lands beyond your store to find new plants, but be careful. The dark woods and lakes are not always friendly to a simple herbalist. You might discover powers beyond your wildest nightmares or lose your mind completely. Stasis, Bone Totem. Here you'll take control of Mac and Charlie, a husband and wife duo who make their living by searching the ocean for salvage. But when you stumble upon an abandoned oil rig in the Pacific Ocean, you uncover a horrific secret, and the evil corporation behind it will do anything to keep it hidden. As you embark on your adventure, you will encounter an immersive narrative filled with spine-tingling horror and unexpected twists. Stasis Bone Totem, despite being a psychological horror game, is kinda relaxing because of the point-and-click nature and an interesting puzzles to solve. Kerbal Space Program. While the second part of the game is still a disaster with 50% of review score, the first part will never fail to entertain us. This game is fun, but also it is very hard. Here you'll have to create your own spaceship, and rocket science is anything but easy. It's not your sister.
Wait, what?
Anyway, building a spaceship here reminds me of creating abominations in Spore. Every detail can be scaled, turned, and attached to another detail, so you have to do everything right in order to take a space flight. The game has a really good physics engine, so you can take off successfully with a giant unicorn or something, but if you practice enough you can send a giant potato salad bowl to the moon. Nah, you probably can't, but you can try. Soma. Here you'll explore an abandoned underwater facility in the bottom of the ocean. You don't know what happened here, where everybody is, and what is your purpose.
What is my purpose?
You pass butter.
Oh my god.
Although soon enough you will find out that you are not alone here. You will walk through creepy corridors, experience weird paranormal events, and all the time feel the hundreds of meters of water above you. And not everybody you'll meet on this journey will be willing to give you a direction or two. Most of the inhabitants will be willing to make a potato salad out of you instead, so be careful. If you played any Amnesia game, be aware that Soma's gameplay is basically the same, just set in absolutely different place. Soma has a great story, cool ending, and is a masterpiece in general. Besiege. This is a physics-based building game in which you construct medieval siege engines and lay waste to immense fortresses and peaceful villages. Build a machine which can crush windmills, wipe out battalions of brave soldiers and transport valuable resources, defending your creation against cannons, archers and everything else. Game looks beautiful, the art style is 10 cold beers out of 10, and the same is difficulty, at least at the beginning, because my machines did more harm to themselves than to their surroundings. Anyway, I promise you that after a bit of practice you will build your incredible mechanical potato of terror and destroy some peaceful castles. Crypt of the Necrodancer. Entertaining music, fast-paced gameplay and RPG elements makes this game really great. I have played countless hours of it and I enjoyed every single one of them. Just be sure that you are a calm person, because this game is hard. Not as hard as Diamonds or Tardigrades for example, but hard enough to make you rage quit a few times. But then you will come back, because Crypt of the Necrodancer is not about the destination, it's all about the journey, which will be very short for you. And the game has permadeath as well. I have died about 100 times by now, and and probably lost a bit of my brain cells in the process. Well, jokes aside, the best thing here is the music. The name of the game kinda suggests that this is a rhythm game, and that rhythm is amazing, especially when the merchant starts to sing. That is priceless. And the conclusion would be that Crypt of the Necrodancer is one of the most entertaining roguelite games I have ever played. You have my all recommendations. The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series. I think most of us have watched or at least have heard about the TV series of The Walking Dead. It was a wonderful show for a few seasons. Then almost every at least a bit more interesting actor left the show, mostly because of the poor writing, but it still continued for like 30 more seasons. Well, I am exaggerating of course, and I have to admit that I stopped watching it way past the mark where it stopped being good. Where a hair model without any acting skills and a samurai girl without face expressions led the show. It was bad but still addicting. Anyway, I'm telling you all this because this game is like TV show, but when it was actually good. Yeah, I know it's hard to remember those times, but Telltale's game is a masterpiece, and this time I am not exaggerating. This version contains 23 unique episodes and more than 40 hours of content. It may not be the cheapest game, but if you want a story-rich interactive fiction with multiple endings, it would be hard to find a better deal than this. Death Trash. This game is awesome. It is set in a semi-open world divided into a few zones. You will spend a lot of time in underground facilities and dungeons as well, but it has a completely different approach to narrative compared to casual games. You never know what to expect. Also, here you will encounter extensive player freedom, from manual save games to the fact that any dialogue can be left anytime. Also, here you can kill everyone or don't kill anyone. That is the spirit, that is the cash of Death Trash. Highly recommended, especially if you like games like Diablo with a hint of pixel art. Okay, with a lot of pixel art. Bastion. This is an action role-playing experience with a reactive narrator who marks your every move. Here you can explore more than 40 hand-painted environments, find more than 10 upgradable weapons, enjoy gamepad support, and discover the secrets of the Calamity, a surreal catastrophe that shattered the world to pieces. Bad thing is that the game doesn't have a huge replay value, even if it has a New Game Plus setting. But for this price, it is one of the best deals you can get. People on Steam are saying that even though this game is quite old, you really can't tell its age. It's not outdated in any way. Great game, without a doubt.
My friend Pedro.
This is a violent ballet about friendship, imagination, and one's man's struggle to obliterate anyone in his path. The strategic use of split aiming, slow motion, and the old stylish window breach create one action sequence after another. If I had to describe this game in one word, it would be fluid, intuitive. Well, that's 3 words, but I was never good at counting. Anyway, this game is pure carnage with amazing features like time slowing and killing enemies with a frying pan. People on Steam are saying that this is a platforming Max Payne, although yellower and with Adidas tracksuit. And you know, Pedro, it's not you, it's a talking banana which makes you commit murders. Great game. In Sound Mind. This is a survival horror where you will experience a series of haunting memories. You will take on a journey through a progression of unsettling stories, each with unique puzzles, mechanics, weapons, and boss fights. Basically, here you play as a town therapist and dive into the strange worlds of your patients. The game is a bit scary and plays as a psychological thriller. All the levels are unique and all of them hold a certain ominous atmosphere, so it will definitely grow some hair on your mental balls. People on Steam are saying that almost nobody expected the game to be this good for this price, and I totally recommend it for you as well. Kingdom Rush Tower Defense. This is one of the best rated games on Steam overall. The review score revolves around 97%, and that is more than impressive for a simple tower defense game. Well, to call it simple is overstating. It is made so well you will constantly feel rewarded by the decisions you make. So in other words, this is a serotonin factory for your brain. Few years ago I was running an electric scooter rental business in Palanga, one of the resort cities of Lithuania, and this game helped me kill time big time. You know, when you have to sit all day in one place hoping that someone will rent your scooter, that may sound boring, and it was. Well, money was good, but still the boredom was overwhelming. But when I installed this game on my laptop, I was excited to go to work because I could play it all day, and that was awesome. This game, and honestly the whole franchise of Kingdom Rush, is amazing and undoubtedly the best tower defense game I have ever tried in my life. I can totally recommend it for you without any doubts. Machinarium. This is one of the cutest and coolest puzzle games I have ever played, although keep in mind that it will truly test your IQ. Puzzles here are really hard. Well, they are all crackable, but if you are not a die-hard puzzle fan, it may be a challenging brain sport for you. The world of Machinarium is populated only by robots of various forms and functions. One of the most interesting places in this world is the old, rusty and legendary city where the game takes place. You will have to get rid of wicked robots, save the mayor of the city and also your robot girlfriend. A dream of yours, I know. SteamWorld Dig 2. Game takes you on a mining adventure forged in Metroidvania flames. When an old trading town is struck by mysterious earthquakes, it's up to you, a lone steambot, along with your unlikely companion, to uncover what trembling terrors lies beneath. And you know what you will uncover deep, deep below?
Your fat mama snoring.
Oh, come on, no, it's a secret and you will have to discover it by yourself. So you will dig your way underground and explore vivid worlds riddled with treasure, secrets and deadly traps. Fight dangerous enemies at every turn of the underworld, including shadowy creatures and the haunted remains of an ancient electrical threat. Well, this game is obviously story-rich, and that is awesome.
Turnip Boy commits tax evasion.
He will take control of an adorable turnip who happens to be an absolute menace to society. After failing to pay taxes and getting evicted from your home, you must go on an epic quest to pay back your massive debt to Mayor Onion. Use garden tools to solve plantastic puzzles, meet eccentric vegetables and fruits, and take on treacherous fights against animals both big and small, including the capitalist swine. Along the journey, uncover what's spoiling this garden community and rise to tear down the corrupt vegetable government. In other words, you are a lazy, shaded turnip that wants to evade paying taxes and, along the way, start the revolution. Some kind of Lenin, I guess. Mutazioni, or however it is pronounced, a delightfully quirky indie game. Here you play as Kai, who has traveled to the mysterious town of Mutazioni to care for her sick grandfather. Because, you know, like in every game, you want him to leave that workshop for you, right? So, you want him dead as soon as possible. I'm kidding, of course, and my humor is dark, but this game is obviously for more mature players. Also, this is a very short game. You'll complete it in just a few hours. But during your time with the game, you'll speak to the town's bizarre yet delightful creatures, explore the surrounding areas, and even grow some crops. Botanicula. This is a humor-filled adventure game created by the makers of super famous Machinarium and Samara series. Here you'll control 5 friends, little tree creatures, set out on a journey to save the last seed from their home tree, which was infested by evil parasites. This is a relaxed game perfect for hardcore gamers, their partners, parents, families, and old shady ladies with one eye. Don't ask me why, instead go and explore more than 150 detailed locations, watch funny animations, and find incredible amounts of hidden bonuses. You'll not find any text or boring dialogues. The game is really suitable for everyone. Players on Steam are saying that Botanicula is a trippy little game that is relaxing and hilarious at the same time. Definitely a hidden gem, and overwhelmingly positive review score can confirm that with ease. Little Inferno. Remember World of Goo? This is another game from the same company. Here you'll throw your toys into your fire and play with them as they burn.
That is the crazy part.
This is an adventure that takes place almost entirely in front of a fireplace, and the cold world is just on the other side of the wall. Little Inferno is a short game, only about 2 hours and a half will be taken from your boring life and made better. Don't hesitate, if you like crazy, this is the crazy you have to try. Call of Juarez Gunslinger. This one and other games of the franchise are probably the most popular and well-known first-person shooters set in a Wild West. Here you will play as the best gunslinger West ever saw and blur the lines between man and myth. This adventure, made of memorable encounters, will unveil the untold truth behind some of the greatest legends of the Old West. And I'm talking about Billy the Kid, Pat Garrett, Jesse James, and Dick Penison. Oh, come on, who wrote this?
You did.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, with a gun holster tied to your leg, become a ruthless bounty hunter on a journey made of all-out gun battles. Master the art of blasting pistols, shooting rifles, and dodging bullets.
Metaphorically, right?
No, it's exactly like in The Matrix. You can slow time and actually dodge bullets. How cool is that? Also, I really like the narration part of the game. It is trying to hold your attention even when nothing is happening. Let's say you climb the ladder, but at the same time you are listening to the story, and that is really cool. People are comparing the style with an action RPG game Bastion, which also has the narration implemented. This is a really great invention, and I wish that more games had something like that. Well, with the ability to turn it off, of course. Papers, please. I'm sorry, I must read this with my accent in full glory. This is how I actually spoke in English some 7 years ago. The communist state of Arstochka has just ended a 6-year war with neighboring Kolechia and reclaimed its rightful half of the border town. Your job as an immigration officer is to control the flow of people entering the Arstochkan side town from Kolechia. Among the crowds of immigrants and visitors looking for work are hidden smugglers, spies and terrorists. Using only the documents provided by travelers and the Ministry of Admission's primitive inspect, search and fingerprint systems, you must decide who can enter Arstochka and who will be turned away or arrested. So the beautiful communist state is very proud of their country and you are at the front, preventing those democratic liberal pigs from entering your paradise. And no, my accent is not Russian and not even Slavic, but it's Eastern European, that's for sure. South Park: The Stick of Truth. From the perilous battlefields of the Fourth Great Playground, a young hero will rise, destined to be the South Park's savior. For 1,000 years, the battle has been waged. The sole reason humans and elves are locked in a never-ending war is the Stick of Truth. But the tides of war are soon to change as word of a new kid spreads throughout the land, his coming foretold by the stars. Anyway, he'll arm yourself with the weapons of legend to defeat underpants gnomes, hippies, vegans and other forces of evil. If you succeed in your perilous mission, you shall become South Park's savior, and if you fail, you will forever be known, you know, whoever you are right now. No offense. The Legend of Tianding. Here you will play as a vigilante of Taipei City wanted by the colonial Japanese authorities. You will rob the rich, feed the poor and fight for justice in the streets of Taipei as Taiwan's legendary outlaw. So basically a Robin Hood, just without a hood, without a forest and with a different name. The game, according to developers, is based on real events, real people and real situations. I know little about Taiwan except the thing that we had opened something like Taiwan's embassy here in Lithuania and China got furious. Judging from the propaganda it spreads about hunger in Lithuania, it still is. Nobody here cared or cares about that though. We have way worse neighbors here to actually worry about. Anyway, The Legend of Tianding is an exploration of a place and time often overlooked and presented in the style of a traditional Chinese comics. People are saying that this is a very solid 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up with a unique presentation of Taiwanese folklore. The Planet Crafter. The adventure here starts literally the same as in Subnautica and many other alien planet exploration games. You are falling from space in a tiny capsule that will be your only home and link to humanity. So you manage to land with all your body parts intact and may start exploring unfriendly nature around you. Well, alright, I ain't gonna lie, in the Planet Crafter you ain't gonna find any hostile enemies. It's a very relaxing game where you don't have to worry about creating new weapons to defend yourself from large alien monsters, nothing like that. Here you have to gather minerals and resources to survive, and craft all the tools you'll need in order to fulfill your mission, which is to terraform this planet and make it habitable for humans. And half of humanity has boobs, so just saying, a noble goal. Also keep in mind that this is not just a crafting game. You will explore old crashed ships and ruins and discover a planet full of mystery. If interested, keep in mind that you can play the demo version on Steam for free. Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition. If you don't know what Titanfall is, you may think that this is only a multiplayer battle royale of some sort, but it is not. The game actually features a very nice, although really short single-player campaign, packed with action and inventive twists. Here you play as militia rifleman stranded behind enemy lines who encounters a veteran Titan. You must work together to uphold a mission you were never meant to carry out. And of course, in Titanfall 2 there is a multiplayer portion of the game with fast-paced, first-person action with Titans and deadly pilot abilities. This version of the game includes all the deluxe and jump starter content, which includes new Titans, war paint, weapons, tokens and even more, and this price is more than great. Stray. This is a cat simulator, but not a usual one, if you know some usual ones, because the game is set in a cyberpunk world and that stirs the pot a bit. The game is a third-person cat adventure set in the detailed neon-lit alleys of a decaying cyber city and the murky environments of its seedy underbelly. You can roam surroundings high and low, defend against unforeseen threats and solve the mysteries of this unwelcoming place inhabited by nothing but unassuming droids, dangerous creatures and things. You know, like evil duct tape, it's your enemy. If in your life a cat ever owned you, you know why. Shadow Gambit, The Cursed Crew. So this is an all-new strategy game set during an alternate history of the golden age of piracy. The terrible curse of lost souls haunts the mysterious island chain known as the Lost Caribbean, which is under the control of the terrible forces of the Inquisition. They despise all that is supernatural and use soul-devouring fire to hunt cursed pirates. And you are in charge of those, so that's not cool. Anyway, the game is made by the same bunch of people as Desperados 3 and Shadow Tactics titles, so I can assure you that the level of awesomeness is pretty high here. Anyway, you will sail on a sentient cursed ship, which will act as your base of operations. You will hire new crew members, pick missions to embark on, and do many other nitpicky piratey things. I was really impressed by the tiny details of the ship. Its design is absolutely awesome. A lot of time was invested in making it, but the combat was the coolest thing. The game is a participant of the real-time tactics genre, meaning that you will have to make your plan of future activities in your head at first, and only then dive into the real thing. The Forgotten City. This game, as a lot of gamers point out, is a Groundhog Day in an ancient city. The mechanic here is simple. Everyone around you is dying for unknown reasons and you have to stop it. If you fail, and you will fail more than once, you can just go to the portal and restart the day over and over again until you solve the problem of dying, so nobody dies anymore. If you think about it, this is a roguelite game, just story-based instead of combat, and it's really one of the best adventure games there is. Also, fun fact, this game started as a Skyrim mod a long time ago, and it was so well received it became a separate kick-ass game. Outer Wilds. It was named Game of the Year 2019 by Giant Bomb, Polygon, Eurogamer and The Guardian, so that alone should grab your attention. If it grabs something else or somewhere else, call the police. Here you are, the newest recruit of the Outer Wilds Ventures, a space program searching for answers in a strange, constantly evolving solar system. You will have to find what lurks in the heart of the ominous Dark Bramble. Who built the alien city on the moon? Well, obviously aliens, but you know what I mean. Can the endless time loop be stopped? And why is potato salad so delicious? Answers await you in the most dangerous reaches of space. Game has overwhelmingly positive reviews, so you can't go wrong with this one. Metal Hellsinger. The game has 97% of positive reviews, and that is insane. You'll kill demons to the rhythm of metal and vengeance on an infernal journey through the 8 hells. This is a rhythm first-person shooter bursting with monsters, gorgeous weapons and heavy metal music created for this game by amazing metal geniuses, like Serj Tankian for example. Yeah, Serj himself sings a new song created especially for this game, and you kill demons listening to it. The song was created with the idea behind it that it is meant to be listened to while killing demons. It is hard to wrap my head around this fact and how metal it actually is. So if you like fast-paced first-person shooter games like Shadow Warrior or Doom, search no more. Metal Hellsinger is what you need to kill your boredom with style. Kenshi. This is a free-roaming, squad-based RPG focusing on open-ended sandbox gameplay. You can be a trader, a thief, a rebel, a warlord, a slave, or just food for the cannibals. The freedom is here and it's up to you how you would use it. You can research new equipment and craft new gear, purchase and upgrade your own buildings to use as safe fortified havens when things go bad, or use them to start up a business. Well, it's a sandbox game after all. You can aid or oppose the various factions in the world while striving for the strength and wealth necessary to simply survive in the harsh desert. You will train your men up from puny victims to master warriors, carry your wounded squadmates to safety and get them all home alive. Pentiment. This game looks kinda dumb, but it's made by Obsidian Entertainment. Yeah, the same guys behind Pillars of Eternity, Fallout New Vegas, The Outer Worlds and many others.
What are the others?
Oh, shut up! This is a narrative-driven historical game focusing on character development, with heavily stylized art and choice-driven storytelling in early 16th century Bavaria. You will play as Andreas Moller, a clever illustrator caught up in a series of murders in a secluded abbey over the course of 25 years. You will be responsible for conducting your own investigation to decide the fate of the community, but each decision will have lasting consequences and draws you closer to the center of underlying conspiracy. People on Steam are saying that the writing is top quality, art style is amazing and animations are great. Inscription. This is a card-based odyssey that blends the deck-building roguelike, escape room-style puzzles, and psychological horror into a well-mixed Bloody Mary. You'll acquire a deck of woodland creature cards by draft, surgery, and self-mutilation, unlock the secrets lurking behind the walls of a mysterious cabin, and embark on an unexpected and deeply disturbing adventure. So don't play this game with your little kids or something. Also, if you are in doubt, you can play the free demo version. Subnautica. When I first tried to play Subnautica, I had some mixed feelings. I don't really like to craft things in games. Well, I do, but only when it's not the main way to obtain things in general. And all that coral and fish gathering was really boring for me. I wanted to explore, and the game prevented me from doing that because I had no means of diving into the depths, and if I tried, I always died. So for me it took about 2 actual years to get all the equipment I needed for exploring. I can only imagine that some kid can do that in a day or so, but that's not the way for me. I got bored really quickly every time I turned the game on. But that boredom was eradicated one day when I found some really interesting things deep below that, you know, I couldn't reach. So I finally understood why this game was so hard to play for me. It gave me no motivation to proceed. And then when I finally found one, Subnautica transformed into a beautiful world. So addicting that in a week I spent more time here than in the past 2 years. And I continue to do that for weeks to come. So for all the new players, just carry on with that boring part and you will be rewarded. I can without a doubt say that this game is 10 coldest beers out of 10. You have all my recommendations. Although keep in mind that even if it looks so colorful and pretty, it has a lot of horror elements and is not meant for kids. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. This is a first-person survival horror game about immersion, discovery and living through a nightmare, an experience that will chill you to the very core. You wake up without much memories and stumble through a narrow corridors as the distant cry is heard. It is getting closer, and you somehow are pretty much sure that there are no actual babies in this castle. You don't know what will you encounter here, but the fact is that the castle is huge and you are not alone. And you have no weapon, you can only hide in the darkness. Funny thing is that the darkness makes you mad, and the light attracts nightmares. This is an absolute lose-lose situation. So in general, if you ever wanted to be an actual protagonist in any Lovecraftian story, Amnesia will do everything it can to make you actually feel the dread. It will make your palms sweaty and the hair on your back will stand up. The game endorses the Lovecraftian trope of madness as you travel deeper and deeper down the cellars and dungeons of an ancient castle. What will you find deep down below? Nothing very nice, I promise. Last Call BBS. This doesn't look like much, but the trick is that this is not one game, not 2 games, not 3 games, not 4 games, not 10 games, not 100 games, and not 1000 games. This is 8 games in one. Most of them are various puzzles and some of them are something else. Creepy, kinky, weird stuff, you know, everything your ex-girlfriend liked, but not your current wife. And people are saying that you shouldn't play the game if you don't like retro games. For example, I would rather drink hamster's milk from the source than play something like that. I'm not a young man anymore, but I was never a fan of old stuff or stuff that pretends to be old. Nostalgia is bad for you, you should quit while you can. So play this if you like the concept, not because it reminds you of old good days. Those will never come back, no matter what you play. Spiritfarer. This is a cozy management game about dying. Here you will take on the role of a titleless Spiritfarer, ferry master of the deceased. Build a boat to explore the world, then befriend and care for spirits before finally releasing them into the afterlife. Farm, mine, fish, harvest, cook and craft your way across mystic seas. Or join the adventure as Daffodil the cat in 2-player cooperative play. Yeah, you can play it with your mother-in-law and bond like never before. The game guarantees relaxing quality time with your spirit passengers where you create long-lasting memories and, ultimately, learn to say goodbye to your cherished friends. Also, you can play the demo version on Steam absolutely free. And now, thank you for watching, and don't forget that in my channel you can find hundreds of videos like that with new ones released almost every day. Have a nice day and I'll see you next time. Bye.